Okay. We're going to learn today Sicha in Likkutei Sichos Chelek Yud Zayin, Parshas Tazria, Sicha Gimel. In Likkutei Sichos it's page 141, and this year, October Shim Pei Gimel, when we learn the Sicha, it's Tazria Mitzero together. This next week is also going to be Achim Kedoshim, everything is together. So we chose to learn the Sicha as the project of the Likkutei Sichos. And it's a very, very, very beautiful, beautiful Sicha, Poshet Gishmak to learn. And also the Oiro and the limit from this is, it changes your mind completely, opens up a new light, and Shabbos light, and Neirus Shabbos Kodesh, and Neirus of Yom Tov. Just unbelievable, the Chedushim that the Rebbe is Machadosh here, in Ruchnes and Yonim, what it is. Oy Salef. From Posuk Kol Yemei Asher Hanega Boi Itmo, Goimer, Bodod Yeshev, Mechutz Lamachane Moishavoi, learned enough Teras Kohanim and the Rambam passing like this. Azor der Moishav, wo der Metzora gefindt sich ist Tome. It says in this Parshas Tazria we start about the story of a Metzora, and in Metzora we're going to say when Metzora gets pure, when he gets clean. This is in Parshas in Metzora. In Tazria is when he's becoming a Metzora. So it says Kol Yemei, all the time that he has his nega, he's tome, and he has to sit by himself. Mechutz lamachanes, we're going to learn later. Mechutz of Gimel Machalis, all three machanes that there was in the camp in the Midbar, he has to sit mamish completely out, completely out. And it says, because it says, it could have said Bodo Jeshev Mechutz lamachane. Torah is adding on Mechutz lamachane Moishavoi. So we're using this Moishavoi, we said wherever he sits. Wherever his moishav is, wherever he's sitting, everything in the house gets tummy. That's what we learn out from it. So the Rebbe says, now the Rebbe is going to see what happens if a Metzora comes into my house, it comes into your house. What is the halacha? When a Metzora geht rein lebeis chaveroi, so the Mishnah in the Goyim says, Kelim, Tanakama says, Kelim miyat mein. As soon as he comes into the house, everything that's in the house becomes tummy. Rabbi Yehuda thinks differently. He says, "Im shokedat lokas aner." If he was there, the time that it takes to put on a candle, the Gemara, the Mishnah doesn't give you a time what it is, and obviously it's a meshach zman because now you take a match and you strike it, you have light. Then probably to putting on a match putting on a fire was our whole business with the rocks to rub them together until it catches and everything. So this is Rabbi Yehuda says, what is the time that if he came in until everything gets tummy, the time that it takes to put on a candle. So the Meforshim explain what does Rabbi Yehuda mean. Does Rabbi Yehuda say red in a fall when the Metzora is rein lebeis chaveroi on reshus. They say to Rabbi Yehuda, if he came in with reshus, so I invited somebody and he came in the Metzora, or he came in and they said, "Hello, how are you?" The house gets tummy right away. He's not arguing with the Chachamim. What happens if he came in without permission? Now the shaila is, what is the halacha? So Rabbi Yehuda said, we came in without permission. You needed time to be able to tell him, get out of here, I don't want you, you're going to make everything tummy. So we're giving you the time as it takes to put on a candle. If you didn't tell him, that means that you are happy that he is here. If you're happy that he is here, it becomes Moishavoi, becomes his house, and everything becomes tummy. Okay, let's see inside. Warum, wenn geht rein zu ihm mit Reshus, vom Balabais, is euch Rabbi Yehuda moide to the Chachamim, as Yanim is biased, if he comes in with permission, everything gets tummy right away. There's no time limit. The Rebbe Gitman side, because I say that Rabbi Yehuda is talking about somebody who came in without permission, that's why we give him a time. Why? The Balabos or the Weil kennen Aroshik Nemetzor von Stub is busy with putting on the candle. So I'm giving him time till it takes to put on the candle. And if this time went by and you didn't tell him, get out of here, I don't want you here, then he's agreeing that he's here, and he becomes everything tough. If he waits, if he waits longer than putting on the candle, and he didn't leave, where does then the Moishav Metzora becomes his house? He didn't tell him out. Yes, Veloy didn't go out. He didn't tell him to go out. Yeah, obviously. Yeah. Wer ist dann der Moshe von Metzora, weil du sagst, dass ist dort mit dem Reshus Balabos. If he is with Reshus, is the same as the Chachamim say, as soon as he comes in, everything gets tummy. Und der Kelim Shebebay ist während tummy. Und der Tummy und der Tam was we give him the shears monkey that Lokas Aner? Why do we give him the time of Lokas Aner? What is the reason? Weil es kann sein, dass der Balabais ist dort in Lokas Aner und zu dem schickt nicht raus dem Zeuger auf dem Weiß. It's possible that he's busy putting on the candle in the house. He's busy putting a candle, so he's torut and he's not telling him get out. As soon as he's finished doing it and he didn't tell him go out, everything gets done. Und der Zeuger gefindt sich dort Sheloi Birshusoi. I'm busy now. I don't see him even. Und der Fahrer wartet ein bisschen schier von der Lokas Aner. Now the Rebbe, this is what the Mishnah is. The Rebbe is going to ask a very beautiful, interesting idea. Torah is very precise. Torah is every can of the letter Rabbi Akiva, every word. We said already a few times already in this time of Shir. Ilches Shrite, that it's so many halachas and we're so careful. Lebavitcher Shrite, this Shrite, kosher, and everything. What is it? We learning out everything from Remozim. And it comes here to a story that we say that everything has to do with Lokas Aner, has to be a reason to it. As the Rebbe is going to say in his base. In Torah,
the Chachamim, in Rabbi Yehuda's case, maybe they agree with him also.
I thought about it. It's possible.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, I didn't. Okay. In Torah is the Chals betachlis Sadik. Torah is everything precise. Mit der Fumbos von zwischen verschiedene Sachen. Mit welcher Balabais kann sein Torah bleibt aus dem Mishnah. Darf die Tiere. I'm asking you a question. How many things could a person be busy in the house? You have a house of kids, you have a family, you have a million things you could think of, but it could be busy. Why did Torah choose that he's busy with Lokas Aner? What's the reason? The Rebbe is going in deeper 3 times. Number one, why did he choose candle? Then the Rebbe is going to say that it's something that doesn't make even sense. It doesn't make sense to choose this. Choose something that is busy with that day and night. You choose something that it's only at night. What happens if the Metzora comes in the middle of the day? That you can't be busy with putting on a candle because you don't need candles? What happens then? We're not talking about if he's busy with putting on the candle. We're talking the time that it takes to put on a candle. Which is Mefurish in Pirush Rosh. The Rosh is saying like this. What's the Rosh saying? Sometimes he's busy with putting on a candle. Sometimes with something else. Noch mehr. The Rebbe goes in deeper. Die Zeit von Lokas Aner ist schreich nur, wenn es ist finster. Only at night is shaykh. Why do I use the time of putting on a candle by day also when there's no shaykh candle? Und der Schirke der Lokas Aner ist so, wenn Metzora geht rein bei Beis Chavero by Tov. Even when he comes in by day, he has the same shir. So Rabbi Nishlan, give him a shir that it's something that you do day and night. Cleaning the house, a million things that you could think of what he could be doing. The Meforshim sagen, why is it by day also? So the Meforshim explaining, brings on it's Sichos is explaining very geschmack, to lieben tam von Loi Plug. Because I say that at night when Metzora comes in, we're using the candle, so by day we're also using the candle. I don't want to make a difference between day and night. What? We don't give different shiurim. Yes, we give the same shiur. What is at the time of Lokas Aner? Loi Plug. We don't want to change between day and night. There's a concept in Halacha, the name for Loi Plug. As we're going to see further, the Rebbe brings it again. Is the fun move on? So because I see that they chose Davke the idea of candle, although sometimes a person at the Rosh says himself that he's busy with Tashmi Shachar, and then it's only at night and not by day. So is the fun move on as Farana Sheikhs. There has to be a connection zwischen dem Inje von Lokas Aner mit dem was die Mishnah sagt da, as bis dem Shir während der Kelim Shmeiser, has to be some connection. Why did we choose Inyan of lighting a candle? Ich bewahre darauf, der Tate in seiner Aure, so wie der Mishnah, there is the Likkutei the Rebbe's father was sent away for 5 years and he didn't have any ink and he didn't have any papers. He had only Mishnayos and Zoyar and Tanya and Chumash. We didn't take with him. And he wrote magnificent, unbelievable things, but he wrote from Zikoron, from the old Shas and Poskim and everything, amazing. And the Gilliam was in English, on the margins. He was writing on the margin, and the Rebbe Tzimchani Olah Shalom would make the ink, and that's how he wrote it, and the Rebbe got it, and the Rebbe made out of the whole set of Svarim from Rebbe Levi. Yeah. And as he was sitting there in jail, in one place he writes, unbelievable. One time that he writes it, Ovarti al kol ha-Torah kulo. He writes that he didn't find in Kol HaTorah Kulo. He talks about everything is Kabbalah, everything is Remozim, everything is Gematria, it's unbelievable. So he writes about that Gvure is one, Gvure, never have Gvure and Gvure together because it's dangerous. Chesed and Chesed we have. He writes Avrom, Vayomer Hineni. You'll never find the Vatel Kol HaTorah Kula. You never find Elokim. Never find Yitzchok. You always find only Hashem. And then it says also, that's why the Torah changed. It should say, Ve'ele Toildois, Avrom, Yitzchok ben Avrom. What does it say? Eile Toildois Yitzchok ben Avrom, Oile Yitzchok, not to have Yitzchok and Yitzchok together. Very good. Okay, it's Yitzchakov, so it's Chesed already. So it's Chesed and Gvura, not Gvura. And it finishes up with something interesting. It says that when Yankov 10 days have to bring him to hunt and bring him food, so Rivka went and she cooked two lambs. So two gdim. What is going on? That's Yitzchok's Michael. So Rashi said there was Pesach, and he had a korban Pesach and korban Chagige. So and it brings proof. It says also Vayovol Yayin, Vayesh Arba Koises. So Reb Levi is asking, where's the Moreh? That's because Yitzchok is there, so we don't need Moreh already. Yitzchok is Gvura, so we don't need Moreh.
Shabbos Hayomin was like some midless rice, like Tira Dosel, you have to get rid of them.
Yeah.
You can't use them for Kedusha. And notice Shabbos was Gvura.
Very good. Gvura should be Gvura, yeah. Okay. Es bewaart doch auf der Tate in seiner Auge, so wie der Mishnah nahm. Bais in Kabole ist Firas Malchus. Und Sibas Thomas Metzeros mit Zadistalkus Eura Chochma. Bais is Malchus. Why could the Metzoro make in the house everything Tome? Because the Metzoro lost the union of Chochma. Where do we see it? Very interesting. We see that the father is Metzoro, Chashim Kemes. There is somebody who doesn't have kids, somebody is a poor person, is Chashim Kemes, and a Metzoro is Chashim Kemes. Why is the Choshev Kemes? Because he lost his Chochma. Where do we see it? It's a posik in Koheles, a Chochma Techaye. So that's why when it comes into the house, that it's Malchus, and the Chochma is not there, so it becomes Tom. The Rebbe, Kolzman, the Rebbe's father is explaining why we're using the idea of candle. Kolzman, the Balabais is stored with that Lokas Anel. What is he doing now? He's busy with putting up a candle. Putting on a candle in Kabbalah, in Chassidus, what does it mean? He's bringing down oil. When he brings on oil is chokhmah. If it's chokhmah, that's why it doesn't get tummy. As soon as he's finished with putting on with the time of putting on the candle, and he didn't tell him to leave, then there's no oil, there's no chokhmah, everything gets tummy. Der lost es nicht als die Tumas was hat locker seine Rabshor chokhmah. Der lost es nicht als die Tumas am Tzor soll sich mas Parshas sein in dem Beis. Now the Rebbe's father, we're going to use it later in the Sicha also, is adding on something very interesting that we see. Not only with the Metzoro is Tome, we say because Metzoro Choshev Kemes, he doesn't have the Chochma, he doesn't have the Chochma Techaye. We see also when he gets pure, the same thing we see. What do we see? Who is doing it? Only a Kohen could make him pure. Why? Because a Kohen is the yin of Chochma. That's why a Kohen could do it. And he's finishing with Alder V'Taras HaMetzoro is Ducha Kohen Davke. It says in the coming Parsha, when we're going to learn Metzoro, Ve'uvo El HaKohen, Ve'yotza HaKohen Ve'goimer. And a Kohen is there, was his Mamshech Demoira Chochma. So very geschmack what the Rebbe's father is explaining what it is. The Rebbe is going to go deeper and deeper and deeper to understand what's the idea of using the time of lighting a candle. Ois Gimel, the Rebbe is going to say that there's different opinions that now we'll understand it much better. Talking about what does it mean that he's busy with until he puts on time of putting on a candle, talking about Neir Shabbos. Let's go and see Shiv Gimel. If them was the Metzoro is metame, davke noch ein shiur, kedei adlokas hanel. Stellt sich a Scheibe. The Rebbe says, I have a question. What does it mean Adlokas Hanel? A viele oi der Balabais ist von Numen Adlokas Hanel, ist die Tier, der nicht so groß, also das weiß ich gut, wenn ich kenne einen Essen mit Zörer rausgeben sein weiß. Da bin ich nicht. Somebody standing and is rubbing the stones and is trying, even then, he's trying to make fire and everything. A Metzora comes in. Would you see him or not? I would have to see him. What is it? Such a big job that my head is not there, my eyes are not there. I see him. He comes in and says, get out of here. What are you doing here? I don't want to get my house Tome. If he didn't tell him, it should be Tome. So the answer is, the Rebbe brings a Gishmak answer, why we're using the idea of candle. It's in a special time. It's a time of Erev Shabbos. Erev Shabbos, a person is busy. Could be that he came in and it was different when, at stage he has to put on the candles, he has to finish up the chant, he has to put up everything. That's why. In Faremfeld, as the Shirke, the Adlokas Haneir, Redbeng, Adlokas Haneir, the Beishim, talk about lighting candles, Erev Shabbos. Adlokas Haneir Shabbos Kodesh, and now we'll understand. And therefore, this answers the question, how come to be so busy with Adlokas Haneir? It's not so busy. And therefore, can nicht mafsig sein, und zu essen, mit Zerach, he's in the middle of making the broche, his wife is in the middle of making the broche, he's watching you putting on the candle, trying to make the fire and everything, so he's busy. That's why. Weil das bei Shimshe fordert sich der Shir, Erev Shabbos in its this time frame, ich sage bei der andere Tag von Woche, nicht geworden der Shir, der Lokas Aner, mit Zad Loi Plug, also, we're talking about, Lokas Aner is talking about if the Mitzvah came in Erev Shabbos, and that's why we use, as the same reasons we gave before, Loi Plug, I think who said it, shouldn't have said it, Shem Loi Plug, also we'll say, what is the time all week when the Mitzvah comes in, even by day, even not Erev Shabbos, what's the time frame? It's putting on the candle Erev Shabbos. Now, Lloyd with the Tate is in the Mevaya, and according.
It's only one time. Before you said night, and you want on something day and night.
Right. Now you said that everything is.
Now it's only one time a week, even less.
One time a week? Oh, right. Before we said that we're talking about night and day. Now we're talking about only Friday afternoon. How could you use it for the whole week? Very good. The Rebbe is going to answer. When Lloyd with the Tate is in the Mevaya, the Tama Shirke, the Adlok says, well, Adlok is the loss is too much Mitzvah. The Rebbe's father explained it, we just said. What is the reason is that it doesn't, because it's the Indian of Neiris Chochma, and it doesn't let the Tumas Mitzvah coming in. So now we have a very interesting concept. As the Koyach, if nicht the loss in Tumas Mitzvah, is Veika Mitzad Adlok Asaner, the Beshimshe. So we find a new connection, not only to Neir, a Neir of Erev Shabbos. You have to find out what the connection with Neir of Erev Shabbos. Davke with holding back the Mitzvah from bringing in the Tumah. When, as Rabbi Olsman said, not only Erev Shabbos, but a full week, whenever he comes in, these candles have the idea of not letting in the Tumah. Well, as the Rika Shir, where's the main Shir that we're taking now? The Shir of Adlok Asaner, Erev Shabbos, from the Adlok. Now the Rebbe is going to explain it. What is it? The Mishnah read nicht wegen Tumas HaMetzora for sich. Obviously, when we learn the Mishnah is not talking about the Metzora that is Tomei. Everybody knows it already, right? We learned already, Kol Yemei Tumah is Tomei. Yeah? Kol Yemei Asher Hanega Boi Itmo. What are we talking about? No, wegen der Tumas HaMetzora was wird nicht Pashet im Beis. Talking about how the Tumah is being spread in the house. The Riber is das Beika verbunden mit Adlokas Neres der Beshimshe. Now we'll understand, I was going to explain what is the connection Davke with Erev Shabbos. Yosef the Erev Shabbos könnte stellen sich aus von anderen Eres, damit was in Yodam Misholem bei ist, we see that Erev Shabbos Kodesh isn't it a special quality, a special ingredient. What is it? Sholem Bayis. The Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch brings it up. Also the Gemara Shabbos in the Rambam in Turin, all over. They beleichten dem Bayis, shelo yikoshlu be'eitz or be'even. You shouldn't stumble on a piece of wood or on a rock that's in the house. You should see how to walk. They are guarding the house. As in Bayis soll nicht sein, keine Meurois Bild of shouldn't happen something that is not wishful. Und der Riber tun auf den Neiros im Bayis euch das as tun soll nicht machen, because we're talking about a nail that's a special nail that it doesn't is a special quality that it's a bringing Shalom Bayis, and you should see where you're going. That's why it could also lighting this candle could also prevent for bringing in the Tumas of Mitzvah. So now we understand why did we use Davke the idea of Neir and Neir of Erev Shabbos? Because Neir of Erev Shabbos is a special quality. Same thing, it does bring in the Tumas Mitzvah. Very Gishmak. In Ois Dalet, the Rebbe is going to explain a very interesting question that as soon as we finish this Ois Gimel, we have a question in our mind. The Bnei Shloilo, why the candle Erev Shabbos? If I put on a candle tonight, last night, it's not going to prevent me from stumbling. It's not going to bring Shalom Bayis. Also, what's the idea of Neir Shabbos? Very geschmackig question. The Rebbe is going to answer a beautiful idea that's just unbelievable, practical answer that's amazing. Ois Dalet. Man kann aber in dem fragen. I have a very simple question. Der Shalom Bayis al den Neir Shabbos wird euch getan durch der Gashmisdike Lichtigkeit. Why don't I stumble? Why is it Shalom Bayis? Because I have a light. So when the Choyre, jeder, the Rebbe underlined, jeder angezündeter Ner, any candle that's lit, euch wenn is nicht kein Ner Mitzvah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, every night. Balayr dem Bay, Shloi Kashel, Beitze Beven. So what's the idea of the Shabbos? Why do we need Neir the Beshimshe?
The practical answer to that. That once upon a time they used to eat early. Came dark, they went to sleep.
Shabbos, you have to eat Friday night. Good, thank you. Geschmack. Okay. Lechoire, jeder angezündeter Neir, euch wenn es nicht kein Neir Mitzvah Balayr dem Bay, Shloi Kashel, Beitze Beven, bringt durch dem zum Shalom Bayis. Ein Team, what is the great thing? Was besteht der Israel? What's the advantage von Adlokas Neir is the Beshimshe? was davke Diagloke werde Riker und nicht gelassen, als im Beisel sein Epech Sholem und erfahr euch nicht ist was. The only Shabbos candles, this is the idea, this is what we use as the mocker, the source of our time frame. Davke Erev Shabbos, we want to connect everything to Shabbos. Shabbos is Neiro, is the Shloi Koshlo. That's why can't bring in the two men. What is the connection? Every light that you put on, Rabbi is going to answer unbelievable Geschmack. Is aber der Ram ist nicht so. The truth is, it's not. Only Shabbos candles have the quality in Hashomayim. The Rebbe gave us the quality that it brings Shalom Bayis, Shloi Koshlo. Why? Stam Likkutei. You have a regular candle in the middle of the week. Nicht sein dich verbunden mit Ner Mitzvah. There's a posik Ner Mitzvah with Teure Oil. Yeah? So we say Ner Mitzvah is nicht damit sicher, as does it sein Nasibbe zu Shalom. You know what? You're not always sure that a candle putting on is going to bring peace. The Rebbe says, can sein amal Eiper. A candle could do the opposite. What could it do the opposite? Let me tell you without looking, then we're going to learn inside a little faster. The Rebbe said a beautiful thing. I have a candle in the house in the middle of the week. And I tell something to my wife or I tell something to somebody else who's in the house. If there's a candle burning and I tell him something, the guy doesn't like what I said. What does he do? He makes with his nose, he makes it, or he makes it with both hands. He doesn't say nothing, he just makes it with his hand. And I don't see it. And he says, whatever you said is narishkeit, it's foolish. If a candle is burning and I see it, there's going to be a fight between us. So sometimes the candle could bring Eiper Shalom. When I don't see, I don't know. What is the Chelek between this and Shabbos? The Rebbe is going to explain. Es kann einmal sein Leibich. In der Lichtigkeit, da sieht man einmal ein Menschen oder a Tnue. You see what's a Tnue motion, with his hand or with his face, or a strich is with his nose, you know. It just, like it makes sense, doesn't make sense what you said. So if there's no light, it doesn't see it. Body language, yeah. Was man kann nicht verleiden, I can stand it when he does it. Also as die Lichtigkeit kann go rausrufen, dem Eiper von Shalom. It could call out opposite of Shalom. What happens with what's the difference with Shabbos licht? Dav kedem is the lichtigkeit die licht von Ner Mitzvah Teure Oil. Because you're talking about Ner Mitzvah Teure Oil. Was call a Teure nicht no, las Shalom Boilom, as the Rambam says, is the emissary and sichere Sibet. This is the reason, and this is the real thing that could bring Shalom Bayis. It brings the Ardus to Shalom Bayis. So we came to a conclusion that Neshek, Neir Shabbos Kodesh, has the quality that a regular light in the middle of the week doesn't have. And that's the idea of light that I see not to stumble, as the of mitzvah, a ruchnistic spiritual thing that I make a broche, comes on to make shechionu and everything. So it's a special light, it's a candle, it's lit, but also any the inyan of Kedusha. You know, was
why Ner Shabbos is dafka connected to Shalom Bayis?
No, this is Allah in Shulchan Aruch.
No, but this whole
this
Ner could bring.
yes, I didn't say it anyway. I didn't know. Good. Yeah. Now, I say the Rebbe is going to go to the other side. Now we said about the Bruchni. Only Ner Mitzvah could do the idea of Loi Koshel. And Shalom Bayis, I was going to say that the candle itself shows us something very deep. The light of the candle from Shabbos shows us very deep. He's going to now till now is Ruchni, he's going to go over to the other side.
The question or the difference was a chol was a very practical reason. A person makes a face, and you see it. Shabbos, if you also make a face, you see it. There's the distinction we're saying is this is a mitzvah.
It's a ruchnistic. Yes, 100%.
It doesn't change the gashmistic reality.
Even the person is not going to make a face, or it's not going to bother.
Exactly right. Very good. Yes. It's I thought about it when I prepared, when I learned it 3 times. It's a ruchnistic ringet. Shabbos candles could not bring in of Epechadas. Either is not going to make a face. If it's going to make a face, it's not going to bother. Very good. Shabbos. Oh, what is it? Yes. Yeah. Very good. Good point. Yeah. Shabbos is, how could it be? I mean, a whole week we learn our Tanya in Shul and the Shir, Thursday and Friday, we learn Perik, Vov, Zayin, Ches, about not eating English and Taive, eat English and this. But when you Shabbos, you're allowed to eat. Eat whatever you want. There's no. A mitzvah is a mitzvah. La'anek is a Shabbos. How do you manage the Shabbos with good food? In every mind, yes, it's Geschmack, it's Geschmack of chont, it's Geschmack of fish. Like you said, yes. There's an oil on Shabbos that's completely different. Okay, you know, you said we're going to talk to Maile that it's a Ner Gashmi, and that even as Gashmi is lighting more than a regular Ner. That's in Oise. Das halt ist ein Esber auf der Sichos von Ner Shabbos Kodesh mit dem Minion von Niederlosis Parshas wie jeder Tume im Beis. According to this, we understand why the Ner Shabbos Kodesh, we use it as a time frame because Ner Shabbos Kodesh is the thing that it could not allow the Tume into the house. Von dem aber, was der Schilke, der hat Lokas Haner wird gebracht, where do we use it? There's Tumas Mez is the same Tumas as a Tumas Mitzvah. Not the same. It doesn't have to go out Shonish Machnes, doesn't have to be bodot, but it's a Tumas, it's a gefährliche Tumas, everything in the house gets stomach. But still, where do we use it? Legabe Tumas Metzoiro Davke. Ist verstandig, so we understand from it, as Verritung von der Tumas Hamuro, oder Sichos von Ner Shabbos Kodesh. Now we have to find a connection, Davke to Metzoiro, with the idea of Shabbos. The Rebbe is going to give two answers. Number one, a simple answer, but Pashtus. Practical answer, then it's going to go Biur al Piptimius Union. The Parshas came and so. Eine von den Sibes von Zoras ist Lo Shnore. The Gemara says in Erchin, Rashi brings it down in Tazria and in Metzoyer. As what's Lo Shnore? I am from Pirud Levobis. Yeah, separating. He himself talks about somebody bad, then he talks to somebody that is talk to is going to hate this guy because he had something bad about him. I'm going to hate him because I know the story and I'm talking about it, and the other guy also. So it's ein of Pirut Levobis. The far is Tikunoi, Davke durch Ner Shabbos Kodesh. That's why we're using Ner Shabbos Kodesh for Metzoiro, was in Yonom is Sholem Bais Canal. The opposite of Pirut Levobis. Very Geschmack up, simple answer. And there is going to go Pnimis Yonim. Ja, wir Pnimis Yonim wird man verstehen bei Agdim, dass es Chazal sagen, die Gemara says in Shabbos, Rogel Beneir, Avien Bonim Talmidei Chachamim. Somebody who is Rogel Beneir, obviously talking about Ner Chanukah or Ner Shabbos, is going to have Bonim Talmidei Chachamim. And Rashi is explaining it very geschmack. Why? What's the reason that the Rogel Beneir is bringing the posik in Mishle, Ki Neir Mitzvah V'Toyroyo. So quotation from Rashi. Except Neir Mitzvah V'Toyroyo, Al Yedei Neir Mitzvah the Shabbos V'Chanukah, Bo Oyer V'Toyro. Very geschmack. It's a completely different thing. Neir Mitzvah, true Neir Mitzvah, Shabbos V'Chanukah. What happens there? Toyro, you're going to have kids that they are Talmidei Chachamim. Yeah. From them is move on. As Chod Neir Mitzvah meant jeder Mitzvah. Neir Mitzvah doesn't mean that kind of candle. It means that every Mitzvah brings down a light. Weil durch jeder Mitzvah, was tut, wird lichtig bei ihm und in der Welt herum ihm. Very simple. Wir lernen der Sichos, lernen in Nach, in die Teure it says. Koiros Boteinu, Yoiru Doleinu, Eitz, Even Mikir Tizak, Kvis me, Eitz Ta'anenu. The house is absorbing what we are doing, the good things, and it's going to tell when Moshiach is going to come. So that means we are purifying the world, we are purifying ourselves. But there's one problem. Und deswegen ist in dem Pratvarana Israel in der Mitzvah zu sein, in euch, in Gashmi ist verbunden mit Taner. When it comes about the oil that I have a regular mitzvah, I don't see it. Moshiach is going to come, we're going to see it. When you talk about Taner, I take a candle of Shabbos, and the wife is making, the girl is making a brochanet. Ladlik Neshel Shabbos Kodesh, and she puts it on. So I see the mitzvah and I see the Neir Gashmi. As I said before, the Rebbe is going to bring out here that we see in Neir mitzvah v'toiro goes on all Toiro. Where do we see the specialty? That given there's a Neir Gashmi, Chanukah or Shabbos. And don't forget, when we come later in the Sicha, the Rebbe is going to say that Neir Shabbos is higher than Neir Chanukah. Unbelievable. We're going to get to it. Okay. Warum in Zei? The Rebbe underlined. In Zei, in the Neir Shabbos, when you put it on, you see the light that it comes from a mitzvah. In a regular mitzvah, you put on film, you don't see. Yadam Mechalekos Doko is kodesh, and it helps, and it's purifying the world, you and the guy that you give it, and everything. The money gets elevated and everything. Warum in Zei bringt sich mehr raus der Ring von Neir Mitzvah, I see the Neir. The Rebbe is going to explain it even more to understand good what it is in other words. By andere mitzvahs, any other mitzvahs, bald the Neir Mitzvah is bloß a hochnistige Lichtigkeit. If I put on film, it's a you know what, we tell us that a Sefer Torah is the oldest thing that we have. And God forbid, in case I'm not allowed to talk, in case it falls down or whatever, there's a lochas in a lochas, right? Do you feel the Kedusha of the Sefer Torah? We believe in it. We know that the Torah is the oldest thing. Mashiach is going to come, we're going to feel it. Same thing is here in every mitzvah. It's a ruchnisdigkeit. Or it's nicht kein Wirkung begolui. It doesn't have an effect begolui of the Gashmis from well. Mashiach came by the mitzvahs, weil sie in der Mitzvah ist verbunden mit der Neuer von einer Gashmi. You see the light, you make the broch on it, you put it on, and it's a mitzvah. The river is the pool from the ruchnisdige Lichtigkeit, der Mitzvah, in a Neuf, begil in Gashmis Oilam. That's why we're using it for the story of Mitzvah, because we see in Gashmis, we see also the Indian of light what it is. So we have two things now in Neir Shabbos Kodesh, Neir Chanukah. We have number one, it's a mitzvah. Number two, we see the oil mamish begashmis. We see our light burning, and it makes light in everything. Oisvok. Now the Rebbe is going to bring proof, a geschmack proof from the Gemara that we see that we're talking about Neir mitzvah as some quality that nothing else has it. Damit wird man verstehen, wird sein verstandig, was die Gemara in Shabbos in Gemara, in Menoches tells us, sagt wegen dem Neir Ma'arovi in Beis HaMikdash. There's a Neir Ma'arovi in Beis HaMikdash, and the Gemara says, this is a testimony for everybody in the world. It means probably also Lav L'Goyim. Boy Oilam means everybody. Everybody could see that there's Shchine Shoyre B'Yisrael. Why? So the Rebbe is explaining why. Mitzad dem Nes, was is geschehen beim Neir Ma'arovi, Mimeno Oyo Madlik, Bo Oyo Messiah. What is it? Let me explain you a little bit what happened with the menorah, so we'll be able to understand what's going on here. There is in Kodesh. There's Kodesh HaKadoshim, there's Kodesh, there's Ulam. In Kodesh, there was, I think, three things. There was the menorah, there was the Shulchan, and there was the Mizbeach HaKtoiches. Right? There was three things in there. So the Ulam, the Kodesh HaKadoshim was 10 on 10. The Ulam was long and narrow. It was not a square. So the menorah is a machlokes in Gemara. How did it stand? Mizrach to Ma'ariv or Tzofim to Dor. So if it's Mizrach to Ma'ariv, so Neir Ma'arovi is the last one that is close to Ma'ariv. If the menorah is standing this way, so the middle one is pointing to Ma'ariv. That's why it's called Neir Ma'arovi. What happened with this Neir Ma'arovi? Neir Ma'arovi is that unbelievable thing what happened. When the Kohen God came in the morning, every Kohen came with Kosher Bekohen also, Kosher Bezor, not Loke. Yes, the story with Chanukah. The Kohen comes in the morning, takes out all the wicks, puts them away on the side. He takes the cups and he cleans them out, puts in new oil, a new wick. That's it. Neir Ma'arovi, it doesn't touch them. If you're putting in oil in all cups, the same oil, chotziluk, in everyone goes in a chotziluk, and it's burning by chotziluk, because this is going to be burning in the winter, Teves, when there's a long nights, gets night at 4 o'clock, and it's almost 12 hours night, so we need to, and then when it comes summer, when there's short nights, it's really burning a little bit in the day, because the night is not 12 hours. But comes in the morning, let's say 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, everything is off. The oil is gone. Neir Ma'arovi is burning till the evening. The Kohen didn't touch it in the morning. Comes in the evening, before he goes, put on all the candles, he takes the Neir Ma'arovi, he puts on all the candles that he changed in the morning. Then he takes the Neir Ma'arovi, he shuts them off, takes out the wick and the oil and he washes it, he cleans it. Then he puts in new oil in a new wick and then he puts them on. That's what the Rebbe says here. Mimeno Oyo Madlik, he puts on everything from it. Ubo Oyo Messiah. This was the last one to put them on in the evening. So this is the testimony, because it burned 24 hours with the same amount of oil. The whole world knows that Shchine Shoyre B'Yisrael. I was going to ask a few beautiful questions. What's going on here? The answer is going to be because it's a Neir mitzvah. There's no other reason. Let's see what the question is. The Chayr is nicht verstandig. In Beis HaMikdash eine doch gewähnt, geschehen Asach Nisim. The Mishnah tells us clearly, Asach Nisim nasu labesen Beis HaMikdash. Einfach was ist der Nes und Neir Ma'arovi ausgeteilt von allen Nisim, was davke ist gewähnt an Neidus, Shchine Shoyre B'Yisrael. Everything that there is. You know what? There is the Avli, a Goy could come in, and he could come in and he could see that there is smoke, one of the nisim that there was. The smoke is going up, there's winds, there's rain, it doesn't move. Anes, mamish anes goloi that there is. And the Rebbe is saying even deeper, noch mehr. The Mokem HaMenorah is in Eicha. Und dort gufe nicht in Ulam, nor in the Mord, wo says Kodesh. The Rambam says in Ilches Beis HaBchira. Wo nicht jeder hat gekannt reingehen, you're not allowed to go in there. It's deeper than Ezra's Yisroel. You're not allowed to go there. There's Ezra's Noshim, Ezra's Yisroel, then Ezra's Koyanim, then goes Kodesh. Wo nicht jeder hat gekannt reingehen, dagegen. So you know what? It's unbelievable. The Asor Nisim was in a place that everybody was there. Not only Asor Nisim was in Beis HaMikdash, but all Yerushalayim had a Nes. That everybody saw. Goyim, Lavdul, Eden, everybody saw. What's the Nes in Yerushalayim? In Pirkei Avos, we're going to say, Yom HaRodom, Tzarli Amokim, Shalom Yerushalayim. We bring a korban Pesach, any korban that you bring. All of a sudden, 1,000 Jews came, they wanted to bring a korban Shlomim. They all went in a midbar. Say it again.
They said it could have been a few million in the
Million.
years.
Yeah, okay, but I'm talking about let's say middle of the year. Somebody, a group of people went through the desert and they came to Meitat. Then the law is that the first night they have to sleep in Yerushalayim. They can't go out of Yerushalayim. Stay in Yerushalayim. I have no place. Somebody comes to the Beis Hamikdash and they come in and they're all standing like this, no room. All of a sudden it gets 100 times bigger than the Beis Hamikdash and everybody's laying down. Koirim. How could it be? So all these we don't use. Testimony, this thing that's in Kodesh, that I think that you could not see it even. How could this be a Kodesh? Because they told them that there is a candle there that burns 24 hours with the same amount of oil. A beautiful question. What is going on here? Was nicht jeder hat gekannt da reingehen. Not everybody could go in there in Kodesh. Der Kern von der Sorge nicht ist eine gewähne Teilen ständig bei Sorge und zwischen sehr Chelek, was passiert in Jerusalem. Mit uns la Sorge. Und also herum seine sie gewähne mehr Jeduim la Koin. Everybody saw it, everybody knew about it. Und wie sagt man das darf geht das von ihrem Arov was geschämt der Kodesh hat er gesagt le boyoilem to everybody das Schine shoyer bei Israel unbelievable question is da bier in dem Kanal now we come to bring proof we see that what happens gewalt die göttliche Lichtigkeit von dem Neemarovi is Arov gekommen euch in Gashmisdike Licht the only place that the nest was in candle that it's a mitzvah. Also der Rille hat eine starkere Wirkung über leichten die geistliche Welt, wie zum gar der anderen Jonomonism in Beis Hamikdash. A person get affected more from this than he was affected from something that he saw in the Azora in Jerusalem. Und der Pharao darf gedörnes beeinflusst at a effect. Edels die Boy Oilom, sie sollen anerkennen, sie schreien Israel. Aber sie sich rufen, als es voran am Eilim Yechedes Neire Shabbos Kodesh. Now we're going to see that there's a advantage on Neres Shabbos Kodesh. If ganz teure sagt man, kol ha-teure nit nolas sholem boilom. As we said before, the Rambam says, kol ha-teure nit nolas. As durch kol ha-teure wird aufgetan sholem boilom. Aber das ist beikar ha-sholem beruchnies. Maschenke bei Neres Shabbos Kodesh, wo das Sholem, was wird durch sie aufgetan, sagt sich heraus, in Sholem Beis, kipshutoi, ist das Gufe aber-Beis, as bei der Mitzvah ist das Sholem boilom mit mehr Teuke. It's a completely different Sholem that you see with learning Torah. Learning Torah brings down Sholem, as we said before. It's a ruchnesdike Sholem. You don't see it. Here it mami Sholem. Leoyer, very geschmack. Everything is so unbelievable. The Rebbe finds a make note. Leoyer, make note. Something unbelievable. The Rambam, in the learns in Ilches Ner Chanike, when it comes to the end, and it tells us what? The call a Torah nit nolas Sholem boilom. You know what he writes right before that? He writes right before that Neres Shabbos Kodesh brings Sholem Beis. The boy Nishloila. Why don't you write it in Ilches Shabbos? Why do you write it in Ilches Ner Chanukah? And where? As before you saying that Torah nit las Sholem, the Rebbe brings proof to himself. What I just said. The Kol Torah taken las Sholem boilom. But remember that Neres Shabbos Kodesh is the real thing. The Gashmis that it brings Sholem boilom. Let's see inside. Lo'ir as the Maimah Kol Torah nit las Sholem boilom wird gebracht in Rambam. Beemshach zu mir von Sholem Beis, das wird aufgetan durch Neres Shabbos. What does it have to do in Chanukah? He wants to put them together to see that Neres Shabbos Kodesh has an effect on the world. So now we see, because again, number one, as a mitzvah, number two, there's a candle that you see the light, and on top of it, it's holding back from bad things in the house. Oizai, the Rebbe is going to bring. What's the idea of Oisin Sholem Boilom, and where do we see Sholem Boilom? Dav kein the nail. Very geschmack. The Rebbe is going to say that last Sholem Boilom means bring peace between the world and the Eibishter. Between Gashmi and Ruchni. Very geschmack. Oizai. That's boring. One of the Perushim in Kol HaTorah nit nolas Sholem boilom. One of the explanation, what does it mean that Torah nit nolas Sholem boilom, is the emes metzius from Welt is Göttlichkeit. The real metzius, the real essence of the world is Göttlichkeit. Der alte Rebbe ist mir berichtet in Tanja in Shara Yuchid ve'emunah, als das was die Welt atakim ist es durch dem was der Eibishter, was sich ständig wo rega verega mein leyesh. Make it just bekitzer mamish in a half a minute. There is, we say every day in davening, machadish bitu v'chol tom mas bereishit. The Alter Rebbe says v'chol rega v'rega. Why? The Alter Rebbe brings proof in middle of Shara Yuchid ve'emunah that the mistake and the toys of the philosophers that they say they believe that the Rebbe created the world, but they say Oza Bavai Soret. The Rebbe does not. He created it. The Alter Rebbe says that's the greatest foolish thing that you could say, because they're making a major mistake. If somebody takes a piece of silver and he makes a goblet, he makes a becher, What did he do? They say it's the same thing. And we see that the Becher is made 500 years ago. The guy is dead 450 years, and the Becher is here. Same thing as the world. The Rebbe created it, and Ozav Avaya saw it. The Alter Rebbe says it can be. They just changed the form of the piece of silver that the Rebbe creates. The Rebbe made the world miyesh, me'ayin leyesh, from nothing. When you make something from nothing, you have to be sustaining it the whole time. So the whole world is Gatli, is Elikus. No reyois. But from the other side, we are Gashmis. The Rebbe wanted us to be Gashmis Davke, and when we touch, we see a table. We don't see Elikus. No reyois hat der Leki wirkt in Welt in a verborgenem, in a hidden way. Der Vater setzt sich on the Welt. We are Beziehung passiert. When I look with naked eyes, with regular eyes, I think that the world is running by itself. Bis men ken meinen as biros zu beloy manik chas v'sholem. The Medrash, when he talks about Avraham Avinu in Bereshis Rabbah, he said that it could look like biros zu beloy manik, as everybody there, Terach and everybody there was saying, there's no manik. And Terach makes a idol, a piece of stone, and a lady 80 years old comes to buy it that he made yesterday. And Avraham Avinu tells her. Okay, so what happens? And in them, now we're going to say that this candle that we're putting on Erev Shabbos with a broche, and it's a mitzvah, this is making the world light, that we're going to see that the Eibster runs the world. And in them, besteht der Oiftung von Tachlis von Emetz und Teuro, als durch dem, was man lernt, Teuro, und es ist kein Mitzvahs, wird beleuchten die Mitzvahs von Welt. This brings real light into the world. In der Dogma von Itzitzalot Balabiro, the Rebbe is bringing you proof that it's a rochnistic thing. Avraham Avinu Take, when he was 3 years old, another year is 48 years old. So he was looking around and says, it can't be that this is the world. Like somebody's going to come and say that somebody and he sees a picture, says, how much is it worth? $10 billion. It's the best parchment and the best. Says, how did it happen? He says, I don't know. Last night I left and I forgot to close the ink. And I left a very expensive piece of parchment. I came this morning and the ink is peeled. And this is the picture, $10 billion. Says, you need a mental house. Could such a thing happen? Somebody put in it hours and hours and hours and hours. It should be such a picture. This Avraham Avinu, what Avraham Avinu said. But Avraham Avinu had something else. It's all of Balabira. The Rebbe gave a look at them. The Rebbe gave him a little light. And then Avraham Avinu understand that there's a manik lebirosu. So the same thing is here also with the candle. And when there's that, when you see the truth, as yes manik lebirosu, bis when there's that, not only there's a manik, that is not only the manik, but ein oik melvad. The whole world is nothing, everything is the Rebbe. And that's the deal from the Torah, not the Shalom Boilam. Those was Torah is nitno. The Rebbe is using the word nitno. Why is not a Torah? A Torah last Shalom Boilam. A Torah nitno. The Rebbe is emphasizing nitno. This gegeben geworden dolle maze is es birdei very geschmack. A Torah nitno. Why did Torah bechlal come? Last Shalom Boilam. Doch machen Shalom zwischen dem Oilam mit dem Oibersten, as we said before. This is the idea of Shalom. Last Shalom Boilam. Wir sollten sehen, wie Oilam ist nicht mehr nage Chelekus und noch mehr. Sein Tachlis ist zu sein, a dire lo isboach, durch der Teure, aber nicht, not only it's not disturbing, and it's against the Likus, it's a Likus, and we have to make a dire lo isboach. In everything I could make a dire. So when you look with naked eyes, looks like they're contradicting. I see a table, I see a wall, and the Medrash says, moire dike Wörter. It says, look a little deeper, and you'll see that there is a oistress. Damit ist move on, as in dem besteht euch der Meile mir Chedes und Erev Shabbos Kodesh. Was bei sie ist der Riem von Shalom Boilam mit mehr Teuke, was wir lernen in Sivov. It's different than a candle in the middle of the week. There's a ruchnisdike blessing that it has nothing else says it. As the Riem von Shalom Boilam, there's then, as the Amit is a Metzis from Welt, is the Lekus. That's what it brings you to see. Wert, how do you see it? It's Wert durch Erev Shabbos Kodesh, gibt noch mehr, wie durch andere Mitzvahs. There steht in Zoya. Look at the Zohar. The Zohar says something very interesting. Kineir mitzvah. He brings down the posik in Mishle, and he says, "My neir mitzvah, do neir Shabbos." We know that neir mitzvah is on all the mitzvahs. When the Zohar talks about Nimis and Yonim, where do we see neir mitzvah? Davke by neir Shabbos. In neir Shabbos Kodesh is the ring for neir mitzvah beleicht in the world. Mit mehr Teuke, it's much more stronger. There gab andere mitzvahs. A viele die sind verbunden mit der neir Gashmi. The Rebbe is saying clear that it's higher than neir Chanukah. Because the Rebbe doesn't say that, but we could say Neres Chanukah is the opposite. It's a neir mitzvah that you can't use. Neres Shabbos Kodesh is davke shelo yikoshel beheaven, shelo yikoshel be'etz, and one more thing, it brings shalom bayis. So you should use it. It's made you should use it. That's why it's higher than Ner Chanukah. Shloimar, As das ist der Tam Pnimi, was bei mir von Shalom Bayis, the Rebbe is going to use now. Why does it say the Gemara and the Tur and the Rambam and the Rebbe brings like kosher beits werden? What happens if you come in at night and your child left a little toy, a metal toy, and you fell on the metal? Chas v'shalom. Why do we use eitz v'even? What's eitz v'even here? Everything has to have a reason why it is. Geschmack answer what it is. As das ist der Tam Pnimi, was bei mir von Shalom Bayis, was Ner Shabbos zu Toiv, steht der Loschen schon kosher beits werden. Was ist der Diuk eitz v'even? Why eitz v'even? No, damit ist mir Rames dem Posik, as a Posik in Yirmiyeh, oimrim lo eitz of Yota. Uleven atile de tani. The Rebbe is going to bring out Ner Shabbos Kodesh, preventing somebody from Chas v'Sholem to come to avoid the Zorah. Eitz ve'even is enough avoid the Zorah. Eitz of Yoto, and the Even yeli de tani. As von dem Eitz und Oyeven wird gemacht an avoid the Zorah, Rachmon el-Tzlan. Und das ist der Oiftu von Ner Shabbos Kodesh. This is the innovation. This is what the Chidush in Ner Shabbos Kodesh. Sheloi kosel beitz ve'even. That's why they use sheloi kosel. The mitzvahs when eitz ve'even mitzadatzmon. You talk about the eitz and heaven as they are for themselves. Eitz they werden beleuchten. Before you put on the Shabbos candle, what's the eitz ve'even? Can I mal machshel ein chazol mizol meinen? As they the eitz ve'even om chazol man egem mitzias, an egem koyach bis zu onruf the eitz ovi and the heaven as atile detani a mitzias na avoid the zorg. When you put on the candle, what do you see? That the eitz ve'even is also a creation from the Eibishter, and it's not they didn't create me. And I use them to serve the Eibishter. I make them a dire lelikus. Very geschmack. So Neshek is megale that the eitz ve'even is a creation of the Eibishter, is not a creator. Chas v'shalom. Durch der Lichtigkeit von Ner Shabbos Kodesh, was Ner Mitzvah und Pule von Shalom Ba'olam, wirken bei von Golui. It's a light in Gashmi Soilom. That Bavon Shaloi Kosel beitz ve'even is going to bring you that you should not stumble on eitz ve'even and say that they're your God. Warum durch sie, das sagt man als der eitz ve'even, jeder mit sich Ba'olam, you see everything. Wird angeführt von dem Balabiro, it's being run, it's run by the Balabiro, der Eibishter, und als sie gut wird darf euch genutzt werden, auf in Jönen von Gedusche. Not only they're not disturbing you, not only they're going to bring you to Chas v'Shalom Avodah Zorah, but you have to use them for Gedusche. Al pi kol anal oistes, ich move in der Keshem Yoch zwischen Taref und Tumas Metzoyer und Ner Shabbos Kodesh. Till now we spoke about the of not spreading the Tumah. Ner Shabbos Kodesh have the power, and we're going to talk about the same thing, how to purify the Metzoyer. Tumas Metzoyer is doch von der Tumas Achri Chamoris. One of the worst Tumas. Was the fact by Metzoyer der Din, Bodot Yeshev, Mechutz LaMachane Moshavoi. You know what it is? Wird rausgeschickt Mechutz leGimel Machnes. Und in dem Gruppe Bodov, unbelievable thing. You can't even sit with other Talmudic people. Regular, you can sit two Talmudic people and enjoy yourself. Play something, play chess, do something. He has to sit by himself. Bodov. Terrible. Shloyut mein acherin yoishvinimoy. Rashi brings it on the Psoch. Rashi brings it from Teras Kohanim and the Posik. From Psochim. What is Bodov Yeshe? Himself. Nobody else. Der Ort, wo Metzoyer is a viele mechutz lamachane von anderen Tmeim. Das heißt, in ganz Arosh machen in Dusche. He completely out of machen in Dusche. Und der Tamadover is what's the reason? Weil euch der Chet, was bringt zu Zoras, Loschnore is there, it's a cause and effect. We said before, what brings Metzoyer? Loschnore. That's why we use Loschnore is Pirut in Ner Shabbos. Now the Rebbe uses differently. The Rebbe says because it's so harsh, that's why his punishment is so harsh. Where do we see that it's so harsh? Unbelievable. Because the field, the Loshon Rambam. Quotation from the Rambam. Somebody talks Loshnore, you know what that's going to bring him to? Ledaba beleikim, bekoifrim beiker. They're going to talk against God, and they'll be koifer beiker. Was durch dem wird Rachmon el-Tzlan in ganzen abgerissen von Eibus. He gets disconnected from the Eibus. That's why he's also disconnected from the Kutsis, all the way, Kutzle Gimel Machnes, and himself. The Rebbe, kedei nicht zu der Losen, die Parshas von Azat Tume, this davke durch Ner Shabbos Kodesh. Only Shabbos Kodesh could prevent such a Tume. Weil sie haben eine starke Wirkung auf Gashmi Soilem, as we said before, there was a moirdike effect on the world. Bis as davke zeiba vorinen shloi kosel beitwev. They are the one that they are protecting you from not stumble. An Indian von Avodah Zorah, muss ein Kanal Baruch, as long before, even it's going to prevent you, Chas v'Sholem, von Avodah Zorah. Und der Vater lassen sich nicht die Tume von Metzoyer, was ist verbunden mit Ledaba beleikim, bekoifrim beiker. Who could do it? Only Ner Shabbos Kodesh. So we have three things now. We have the idea of mitzvah, idea of Gashmi, and lastly Shalom Ba'olam, that we see. That's why there's the koyach of stopping the tume from Metzoyer, and it could also stopping from Chas v'sholem from Avodah Zorah, from Shloi Koshel Beitz Be'evet. Ois Yud. Ois Yud is the Rebbe going to bring out to get Taras HaMetzora. Loit wie der Tat is mevair in seine Aures as der Riem von Adlokas Aner al derech Taras HaMetzora. Yeah, we said the Tumas HaMetzora is because it doesn't have the oil. That's why the Bais Malchus gets ein von Tume. Same thing is also Taras HaMetzora is Davke Koim because he brings oil. The Rebbe says is the Sech verstandig ben Yoneinu will understand it the same as we learned till now. Der Koyach von Neure Shabbos Kodesh is nicht nur in dem, wo sie seine Me'akev, this Pastus von Tumas HaMetzora. It's not only that it's holding back that it shouldn't become Tome, no noch mehr. Sie haben bekoyach zu machen, as die Kelim bleiben teuer von Tumas HaMetzora. Not only that they are purifying, not only that they are stopping, the Metzora is in the house, and if you're busy with bringing light in either Shabbos or even all week, if this is, when he leaves, everything is teuer. Same example what we use, Taral der Kohen, same as it becomes by a coin, the same thing is here also. Taral der Kohen wird al derech von Esab Rashechel en Euro, Doinus Naslik Zochri, as the Gemara says in Yume, that this Doinus is being transformed. Where do we see it? The Kohen takes the Metzora and it transforms it from Bodot in the worst place to Bodot in the highest place. So then Bodot Yeshiv was weißt du Tachlis Ayiride. And I'll say if this is not allowed to sit even with somebody else that it's Tome, that Bodot Yeshiv Lema you say. The greatest thing that it could be. We have a posik that Bilam said in Parshas Bolog. Ein am levodot ishkoin. He brings out the advantage of the Eden, levodot. And then when Moshe Rabbeinu blesses the Eden, we say Zabrocho, better bodot ein yankev. Bodot in the highest level. Was is tachlis abroche, ultimate goal of broch. And as I say, when it gets to the Choshech HaGolus, same thing is here also. Now we're going to apply it to the Golus. Frage Choshech Kofle von Dore Dik, was in the Mashiach were in the double, quadruple darkness in the generation of Ikus and the Mashiach. As durch dem Oil von Eresh Shabbos Kodesh, wird man beleichten dem Choshech HaGolus Wattel sein und noch mehr. There's a posik in Yalkut Shmoini brings it on from a posik in Yeshaya. I'm sorry. That's a medrash Yalkut Shmoini in Parshas Balois. Posik is later. I mixed up. Then kommt Legeule. What is it going to do the Neiro Shabbos Kodesh? The medrash is clear. Mare lochem Neiro shel Tzion. If you use Neiro Shabbos Kodesh, I'm going to show you the Neiro shel Tzion, probably Neiro in the Beis Hamikdash. Another connection between Neiro Shabbos and the Neiro in Beis Hamikdash. When it's vert vo'oilocha avaye oilom, this is in Yeshaya. Because the Choshech HaGolus atzmoi that the Sapech ver lo. Not only the darkness is going to go away, the darkness is going to be transformed into oil, as David HaMelech says in Tilin, V'laylo kayom yo. Now I know Shudal the Rebbe is going to bring out the beautiful thing and unbelievable thing, and I think we have to start it again and again as a mifza to try whoever you know to convince them. It's very hard here to do because everybody's doing it, but when you find somebody on the train at work to convince that they should put on candles, even from 2 or 3 years old, wherever your Rav tells you when to do it. Huh?
Barber, you should start making barber.
Yeah.
They don't like us.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Okay. Shudal. Von Kol Anal ist verstandig, als in einem itzigen Zman, wenn der Choshech von Welt ist so groß in Gedicht, ist speziell wichtig, now that it's so thick, the darkness, it's very important that jede jüdische Tochter, every Jewish girl, euch von Kreisen, wo die Töchter vielleicht besitzt, auch im Menschenlicht noch sehr chasne, bis dann Jötzing, wenn mit der Mutter Licht Menschen, all those people that have Jötzing from the mother, also them, gleich wie Gil Chinuch, as soon as she comes to Chinuch, she could say the brocha, she understands, as man kann ja Masmo sein, der Rebbe says what it is, man kann ja Masmo sein, die Badeit von Eresh Shabbos und Yom Tov, sondern allein Menschen Licht, they should bench Licht. Footnote 48, the Rebbe put it in, the Rebbe's footnote, and it's bold, it's, I'm sorry, 45, it's not bold, what do you call it, emphasized, yeah, underlined, yeah, that's okay, Le'oyo, make note, the Gamze Iker is also a very important point. The Rebbe doesn't bring it out clear, but the Rebbe means a house that the mother doesn't put on it. You have a connection with a daughter, 8 years old, 9-year-old, 7 years old. You have a connection either from Wednesday hour or public school or wherever you find a girl and she walks with you, a mother walks with you. Anyway, you have a connection with a girl. So the Rebbe says now, house that the mother doesn't put, le divrei hakoil, that's a double underline. The divrei hakoil tzricha abas ladli, al pi halacha. She has to put on candles in the house. There's no candles. Al Koponi Mishnas is Bas Mitzvah. That's for sure that she has to. We have to remember, in such a house, is much more than in places that the mother puts on and the girls don't put on. And the Rebbe said again, very geschmack. What happens if this girl lives in a Jewish neighborhood and her mother doesn't put on Shabbos candles, and our neighbors, the girls, don't put on Shabbos candles? You're going to come and convince her and say you have to put on Shabbos candles. You're going to say, all my from neighbors, all the from girls, they're not putting on candles. Why should I? So the Rebbe says, it going to be very hard to convince her to do it. It's tangible that you could see it. Okay. I'm going to finish in page 147. Und die Lichtigkeit von Erev Shabbos, mit der Broche, was sie wird machen, auf dem the Rebbe now giving broches and actual things, what's going to happen to a girl that she puts on the candles. Auf dem wird beleuchten ihr Leben, it's going to make our life light. As sie wird wissen und gedenken, wie sie sagt in der Broche. She herself is going to say the Broche every Erev Shabbos. As the Rebbe is the Melech HaOlam. Und es kommt zu in der Sicherheit, as the Shas, the Rebbe said it's going to help you to be sure when she's going to get married. Alt by Chasinoben, that by her sein, Hashem loch le'oir oilam. The Rebbe is going to be your oil. She wird als Akeres Abayis, the Rebbe calls them always Akeres Abayis, Iker Abayis. They raise the kids, the husband goes to work, and they sit down and they do it. Boyen und einstellen ihr Ois, Leute Moratzen Abayis. She's going to build and set up our house according to the Rebbe's will. As you say that to her limits. Ois test. The Rebbe is based. The Rebbe is going to give another reason. Noch hat er auf die Tätigkeit von Lichten im Fall. Alle Bneus Israel, wie der Mond früher in Sifei, wie Menschen bevor in Sifei, ist wenn durch der Shabbos Zoyche zu Kinder und Eidim Talmidei Chachamim. Die Gemara says, Zoyer Beneir, Avi Leibonim Talmidei Chachamim, comes Rashi and says, not only Bonim, you're going to have also Son-in-laws Talmidei Chachamim. Unbelievable. Rashi adds on Eidims. Aber hey, listen to this, Praktik. Amoli, used to be a time when it's given the Seder. The order was, that's how the world was conducted by the Eden. As the Eltern beschlossen Shidduch for the Tochter. Who decided about the Shidduch? The parents. The Meile, is the Meile, the Riker, the Schus from the Mutter's near Shabbos. The mother would put Shabbos candles. So the Rebbe is going to help her to have a clear mind, to take a chosen, a Talmud Chochem, because this is the Broche. As your Tochter soll chasna for a Talmud Chochem. But today is a completely different day. Einige Zeiten in our times, when it's at verschiedene Sibes, doesn't matter what kind of reasons. Is the Bepoya? What's the effect? Either you like it or you don't like it, the Rebbe says. Sie bewillt ja oder nicht. Either you want or you don't want. Als bei Shidduch für sich beschließt beiker die Tochter. She decides who she wants. Fordert sich nochmal, als sie allein soll benchlicht. It's demanding that she should benchlicht. Und der näher Mitzvah, was sie wird finden, mit der Gem dem Schus, ist l'chasam v'ratam trochen. It's going to like force her, it's going to bring her in the nicest and best way to choose a chosna talmud trochen. In einige Zeit, listen to this, unbelievable. Was a viele im frume Eiser in religious houses is man nicht allemal sicher, not always sure. As the Eltern will noch mal day machletes bei der Tochter, wenn sie wird älter werden. The parents are not going to have say who she absolutely say who she's going to take. Darf man sich bei mir im Stadel sein, sich bei Joiser und so free wie möglich, as soon as you could. Some kids start talking early and they understand early. Let them start putting on candles. Das heißt, wie noch sie der gerecht dem Gil Chinuch, not lokas na Shabbos Kodesh, as it reaches the Gil Chinuch. It's not by everybody the same. So sie auch neben Betschenlicht bechol Erev Shabbos werden. It's going to give her the clarity. It's going to give her the schus that she's going to marry the Talmud Chacham. Was das verstärkt euch die Versicherung von Teura. Not only this, but it's even strengthening the promising of Teura, as when sie megadel sein, let Teura. The Rebbe puts a note in by 49 le Teura that in general when we make a Mishaberach we say in the old world says lechup elemaisim toivim they don't use the Rebbe Rasha better done le Teura based on a Gemara in Brochas. The Gemara in Brochas says noshim b'mezachyan, a man and the kids boys they say with learning Teura. So the Gemara says that is what they send the husband learning, they send the kids learning, they prepare food for them. The Ma'avizachim that they're waiting for the husband to come up and they give him food and everything. Then also the Chuppah Lemains mit Teufel, as we say in the Mishaberach, und sie wird Chasin oben, fahr Atal mit Chochem.